Okay, I'll create a new file 16.html and I'll go into the code view. I'll create the style tag and now I will create one div. I'll give one class to the div, for example box1, and this is my div. I'll give some properties. Today we are going with the background property of the CSS. Background property. So I will give some background to this div tag. So I'll start with the dot box1 and I'll start with the first background property is called as first property of the background will be color. So we will change the color of the background using CSS. So I'll say box1 and here I will give the background color. So to change the background color, the property is background color and I have to give some color to it. For example, I will say green and I'll give some width and height also to see the effect. Now you will see the color is green because I applied the background color to the div tag. Now instead of green, you can also choose the hex number. So here is the background color. Background color you can choose like red or green or yellow, whatever name you know, you can choose it, or you can choose the hex value. Hex value is like hash ff0000. It is a hex value. So on the internet you can see different color has different hex value. So we can choose the hex value also, or we can also choose the RGB value, red, green, blue value. We can make any color using the RGB value, and you can use the RGB value also using the syntax RGB, and here you have to say 255.00. So RGB start from 0 to 255 and G will be 0 to 255, B will be 0 to 255. So you can choose R, G, B value in the color part of the background. So everything will work. Either you choose the valid color name or you choose hex value. For example, I choose this hex value or I choose the RGB value. RGB like this one. Or if I say this also 255, you will see different color. Or if I say this also 255, you will see white color. If I say 0, 0, 0, you will see black color. So you can give different RGB value. This one was about the color. Let's go further now. Let's use the second thing in the background. So first was the background color. We use the syntax as background dash color and value. Next we will do the background image. To do the background image, I can say background dash image, and here I have to say URL. In the URL I should put some name. For example, I will put paper.gif, just name of the image. You can put full name or you can put the part name. Let's copy this image from some place which I have stored somewhere. Okay, let me put the image. Okay, let me copy the image. Okay, I put image here in the same folder. Okay, I have this paper.gif here. So I'm putting background image URL and I can put the image of the URL which I want. And now I will use this image in the CSS property. So let's save this file as 17.html. And now we'll see image here. And image, let's put the image to the whole body tag. So I will put the body tag and I will put background image. And here I will say URL, for example, paper.gif. So once I say paper.gif, you will see the whole background is taking the image. So this is how we put the background image. So let's move the next property of the background. So one thing to note here in the background image is whenever you use the background image, make sure the image does not disturb with the text. Let's say your text is black and my background is light color, then it's okay. But if both are light color, then it will not look good, or both are dark color, it will not look good. So you have to make a background image such that image should be light and background image dark, or background image light, then image text should be dark. So either of this should be reversed. So let's say if text is dark, then use light background. And if text is light, then use dark background. So this is something to make the text visible to the user. This is a note you have to take. Next, we have to see the repeat in the background image. So background repeat is the next topic. Let background repeat. So repeat can be on the x-axis or on the y-axis. So let's take an example. You will see. And what is the syntax? Let's do syntax first. Syntax is background repeat, and I will say no repeat, or I can say repeat x, or I can say repeat y. It's x, repeat x, it will repeat on the x-axis. If it is repeat y, it will repeat on y-axis. So let's take an example. We'll make it 18.html and I'll use the repeat. Now I will put some image. For example, I'll put another image. For example, image GIF. If I put this GIF, this image, so by default it is repeating on the x-axis also, y-axis also. That's the reason you are seeing multiple images, though it's one image, but it is repeating on the x-axis also, on the y-axis also. And if I say background repeat equal to no repeat, if I say no repeat, it will not repeat. It's only the one image on here. Or I can say repeat x, it will repeat only in the x-axis. And if I say repeat y, it will repeat only on the y-axis. So this is repeating on the y-axis. So background repeat will repeat the image multiple times on the x-axis or on the y-axis, wherever you want to go. Next is the background position. So if you have some image, for example, I have this image, I will make it no repeat. And then now I will give the position. It is called background position. And position you can give as right top or right bottom. So generally I will put the div tag to make it really working condition. Here this, if I say right bottom, it's not behaving properly. So let's try to put it in the some div tag and see how it works. I will create box 1. I will create a div of box 1. And I'll give the width of 500 pixel, height of 500 pixel, and I'll give the border of 1 pixel solid black. So since I created the box, you will see it is positioned to the right side and the bottom. I can also say a left bottom or top, left top. This position is not very exactly, controllable. So if you want to really position, something, then I have explained you the position of the div previously. Use that one, but this has some limitations, and we can position also. Uh, we can use this position also, but more precisely, if you want to use that one, is much better position. Let's take another one. Okay, let's put this background repeat and background position. Let's do background attachment. So generally, if you have big text, then it will scroll. But if I put attachment as fixed, then image will be at particular position and we can scroll the text. So for example, I will create one example. I will create a new file 19.html and I will say, okay, let's use the body tag here, and we will put background image as image flower. This image is fine, and I will say background repeat, no repeat. Background position is, for example, right side top. Since I am giving to the body, so image is going to the body, and I will say maybe width is not needed, border is not needed. I will say margin right side will be 20 pixel or 200 pixel. we will see in the browser how it looks, and I will say background attachment equal to fixed. If I say fixed, and then I will put some text. For example, let's say repeat. I will copy this part multiple times. Let's see this on the browser now. So if I move down, image remains there only. That is the attachment fixed. So if I say background attachment equal to fixed, it will move down, even though the text will go up, but this will remain at the same position. There is another property called a scroll is default. If I say scroll, then it will scroll with the text. Means that if I move down, this will move up. That is the default one of the image. So this, no need to put this if you want default one, but if you want fixed, you can put the attachment fixed. So that's it for today. We'll continue the background tomorrow because it's a big topic. We need to do a few more things in the background. Any questions on the background? Okay, we'll do tomorrow also background. It's a big topic. Many things are remaining still in the background. Let's go to the JavaScript. On that day, we saw about the spread operator. Today I will go and write something similar but something different. I will create a function and I will say f1. I will name it as f1. I take two values x and y, and I want to see how many arguments are coming. This is called arguments. How many arguments are coming inside this function? So I will just say console.log arguments are, I will put arguments. Let's see what is coming inside the f1 as x and y. What is coming in the value of x and y? I'll press enter. Now I will say f1. I will pass 2, 3. You will see arguments are 2. One is 2 and another is 3. Let's say if I say f1, if I pass more than what is mentioned, for example 2, 3, 4, then you will see, though I haven't defined here third number, but then also I'm getting this third number here, 2, 3, 4, and length is total number of elements we got in the arguments. So what are the arguments? Arguments is something which we pass as a parameter in the function, and even though we mention only 2, we can pass more than 2, and each can be accessed using the arguments with 0th value, 1 value, 2 value. This is 0th value, 1 value, 2 value. So we can pass n number of arguments. Let's try to write another function now. f2. I will not pass anything. I will just put console.log total arguments are. I will now put argument dot length. That means how many arguments you are passing. So I'll press enter. Now I will say f2, 1, 2, 3. I am passing 3. So total arguments are 3. Let's pass something different. Hello, world, and the total arguments will be 2. So even though I did not put anything here, but I am able to access all the values which are passed as a parameter for that function. So let's see. I will ask you question now. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. How many total arguments are there here? If I pass this,
6.
6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I press enter, I get total argument 6. If I want to access the Z, what should I put in the function? So for example, function F3, I don't pass any parameter when I want to access Z. So what should I write here? I want to access Z. Arguments is an array coming. What should I write? Yeah, so in the rectangular bracket, I will say 2. If I press enter. So for example, now I will say F3, I will say, let's say 10, comma 20, comma 30, comma 40, and I'll press enter. So I'm getting 30 because Z is at the level of 3 and 3 is this one, and but array will take 2 because array starts with 0, 1, 2. So I'm passing arguments 2. So even though I did not put anything, I can access any value of the parameter using arguments. So this one was about the simple parametric handling. Let's go further in JavaScript. Now, if I write like this, var, I create an array x, comma y equal to, and I create another array called as a and b. So I created a variable array x, comma y, and I'm assigning array variable a, comma b. And if I press enter, now what I'll do, I will say var object equal to x, comma y. Now what I did, actually I assigned the value of a to x and b to y. So I assign the value of a to x, b to y. Now if I create an object of x and y, and if I do console.log of object, it will say x is equal to a and y equal to b. From where did x got a? From this statement. From where did y got b? From this statement. And we can create an object using x and y, so we can map the two things. So this is something we are mapping the two sides of the array. Let's go further now. Now if I write one object for hello equal to, this is my object, since it starts with curly bracket, ends with curly bracket, I will put one property a, b, c, d, e, f, comma, and I will create a function. So to create a function, I can say, for example, function 1, and I can say colon, how to create a function. I will put function and I will end it, and here I will say console.log, we are inside the function 1, and I will press enter. So hello object is created with one function called as function 1, and when I call this function 1, this will be printed. So let's call hello dot function 1, and I will put it as a function, and I will press enter. So you will see hello, we are inside the function 1. Same thing I can do in the ES6 version. I can say hello 2, and here I will say name a, b, c, d, e, f. I created one property, and I can create function in a different way. For example, function 2, and I will put the round bracket and I start the curly bracket. So instead of saying function and all, I can directly give the function name and I open the round bracket and I can use this as a function. I can say console.log hello. So now if I say hello 2 dot function 2, it will print the hello, which I put it here. So either I can say function 1 equal to function and we define, or I can directly put the name of the function and start defining it. So this one was the JavaScript part of today. I'll copy and I'll paste it. I'll also paste it on the chat. CSS part we did background color, image and all. I'm putting it in the chat. So that's it about the CSS and JavaScript. Any questions on this too?
No.
Okay. So have you completed the project, whatever I did?
Yes.
Any difficulty? Any questions on that project?
So
Not
far,
yet.
yeah, so far so good.
Carrie?
Yes. No. Yeah. So far, so good as well.
Okay. So we will continue our cron 1. So previously you saw I put a hard-coded value of some time, and this time is what time? This time is 90 days before today. So if you go after 1 month, this time will change because it will be 90 days from the date I am using this statement. Let's say I am using this statement in, let's say I am using this cron 1 on December 1. So what will be the 90 day before December 1?
October.
So it will be
September.
November, October, September 1. So it will check before September 1 if user has logged in after September 1, because we are checking if user is logged in, not logged in after September 1. That means login date is before September 1. So if I am using this cron in January, then my deadline is October 1. User should be logged in after October 1. And if user is not logged in after October 1, that means he is not alive. So we have to make this dynamic. So to make this dynamic, I will create a variable. For example, past date is equal to calculate yesterday I showed you, I have to put time, that is the current time, minus, and I have to calculate the 90 days. To calculate the 90 days, I will say 60 seconds into 60 minutes, that will be 1 hour, into 24, that is be 1 day, into 90 days. So this much seconds, if I subtract from current time, that is today, it will give me the date of this one, that is the 90 days past. So what I will use, I will copy this past date. Instead of this, I will put past date, dollar past date. See, this is a variable. Everything is not variable. I can put variable inside the string. The only thing requirement is this should be double quote. If this is the single quote, then variable will not be able to insert it into this position. Since I have used the double quote, I can use the variable here like this. And let's say if I have many users, for example, 1 million users, then if I run this query, it will break for all the users because that is so many records are there. So what I will do, so here I will say if I have many users, then following page will break because it takes time. To send email to all the users. So what is the thing what I have to do? I cannot run, let's say there are 1,000 users also. I cannot run 1,000 at one time. It is inefficient. So much 1,000 time running, my server will go down. So this cron will run, for example, every 1 hour or 15 minutes or 5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe about, it will run frequently. So every time I will not check all the users. I will take, let's say, 5 users per time, per session, or per cron run time. Do you know what when the cron runs? Do you know when cron runs?
No.
Every minute?
It's up to developer how much you want. I can set it to 1 hour. I can set it to 5 minutes. I can set it to 1 minute. Depending on my requirement, I will change it. Some servers don't allow you to put it 15 minutes or 1 minute. They put 1 hour. So mostly it is customizable. You can use 15 minutes. You can use 1 minute. One of my server, they put the restriction. They don't allow maybe after 1 hour. Before 1 hour, I can run that. So that is the problem with my server actually. It's not the real problem. When you go with the real job, you can run it every minute or 5 minutes or 15 minutes whenever you want. So what I will do, I will, whenever the cron will run, I will take only the 5 users. And then next time it will take another 5 users. Next time it will take another 5 users. I don't want to process more than 5 users at one time. Though I can run 100 users also at one time, but right now, since I don't have so many users, I will run 5 users in one time. So to make it 5 users, I will use one statement that is called limit 5. If I say limit 5, it will take maximum 5 records at one time. So we did two changes. We put the time and we put the limit of 5. Tomorrow, if I want to extend this to 50 users per time, I will change it to 50. If I want to change it to 500 at one time, I will change it to 500. So depending on what I want, I will put it here. Right now, I want only one. Since mail is not going locally, I will comment it locally. And whenever I will put it on the server, I will uncomment it and put it on the server. Right now, otherwise it will take too much time to run the mail, and later it does not run from the local host. So I will just comment this for time being, and later on I will remove this comment.
So can I ask you, you said cron runs whenever we want it to, but it's up to the, is it the host server?
Okay, I will show you.
Okay.
This is my one of the server. This allows you anytime. You can use as many times as you want. So we have to search the cron job. Here is the cron jobs, and here I can say once per minute. So once I set once per minute, it will run every minute. I can say once per 30 minutes, then it will run after every 30 minutes. I can say every 6 hour, so it will run every 6 hour. So depending on how I want, I can change my settings. I can say first day of the month. I can say every month, every other month, every third month. So depend on what I want, I can change my settings here. So this is pretty flexible. I can give anytime I want, the cron will run. I have another server. It does not allow so much flexibility. Now let's see where are the cron jobs. So here is a cron job. Create a new job. So it is saying in every day at what time. So it's actually basically not allowing more than once per day. It's saying only once per day. Yeah, this one is allowing only once per day. So this is pretty much, very restricted, this server. It does not allow me to run more than one per day. If I want more, I can create multiple cron jobs, each for different hours. So at the most, I can create 24 in 24 new cron jobs, calling the same cron one to call 24 times in a day. So this is not very good one, but we can do this also once in a day. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, one more thing I want to do. Since I won't be able to see the mail, okay, let's do this after some time. First, we'll do update. So when this cron will run, it is checking those who are not logged in for 3 months and whose email flag is 0, do for that only. Now tell me, what is the reason of email flag 1 equal to 0? Why I have taken this condition?
You don't want to edit the cron job, send the user email more than once.
Right. So if I have already sent the email to this user, then I don't want it to send email again to that user. And that's the reason I'm putting email flag 1 equal to 0. And when it will send the email, I will change the email flag to 1 so that next time when the cron run, I should not send email to that person again. And that is the reason I choose email flag equal to 1. Let's put some decent message so that he can, I will say, dear user. I will put the user's name. So what is the name? User's name is this one. So I will say dear. Now here I cannot put directly this one. I cannot put directly this one because this variable is having something inside it. It is not the variable which we created like this. This is a variable, direct variable I put directly inside the double quote. But this variable is having something inside it. So this will not work directly here like this. So what I have to do, I have to start with a curly bracket and I will put this and end with a curly bracket. Let's see if I'm getting this message. Let's try this. Okay, I have to start my I started it. I'll start the cron one. So you will see dear Manish, dear Carrie, dear Kate. So if I want to put this variable, I can put in the curly bracket. And then if I want to put something in the new line, I will just press enter, enter, enter. It will go in the new line to the user. Though in the browser, it will not see in the new line, but when it will go to the email, it will go as a new line. So I will say, you haven't logged in on our website. And here I want to give the URL of the website, which I will put it just in few minutes. Website, are you really alive? If yes, then go to our website and log in. Go to our website and log in to our website. I can say then go and log in to our website. One statement. Go and log in to our website to confirm that you are alive. Thank you, administrator. This is the email I will create. I can change it whatever I want. This is just a dummy one I created for now. We will change it as we want. Now here I want to give the URL of my website. If you see, the URL of my website is like this: localhost project 1 LR. In reality, it will be different, but right now it's like this. Let's say, for example, localhost project 1 LR. I can say login.php. Later on, when it will go as some lifereminder.com, something like that. So how to make this dynamic kind of thing? So to make it this dynamic, I don't want to put that thing now. Right now, I'm putting hard-coded value of this one. I will show you how to make this dynamic in couple of days. So don't do that thing now. I don't want to stress that part today. But right now, I will put this just URL so that user can log in. Exactly, it is in the LR or it is inside the users folder. Yeah, it's in the users folder. So I'll say LR users/login.php. This is the URL. I manually hard coded it put here, but we will change it to dynamic one in couple of days. And when I will send this email, okay, this is the message goes to all the three. So when I send the email, I have to update the email flag 1 and email flag date 1 to current time, so that I should know that this email has sent to this user and the date at which I send the email to the user. So I need the update statement. So how to create the update statement? I will show you one way, simple way. We did some update in the intermediate one. Remember, we did the update statement here. This is the update statement we did. I can copy this statement and then I can copy this whole part and then I will edit the changes. So let's go here. Let's put I'll paste it here. This starting function is needed. I need this function. I don't need this one. I will delete it. And I need this update statement. So I will copy this update statement and I will go inside the for loop and here I will paste it. And here I have to update the table. So these three statements usually updates the table. So what is the three statement do? So I have to say update table name, set. I have to check the field. Which field I want to do? One is the email flag 1. So I will say email flag 1 equal to 1. I have to change the value to 1. And will not come, and comma. I will put the comma sign and I want to put flag date. Let's go to the database and see the exact spelling of this two. If I put wrong spelling, it will be wrong. I can copy from here also. This is email flag 1. I will set the email flag 1 to equal to 1 and I will want to set email flag 1 date. Email flag 1 date is equal to, since I want to put this as a dynamic value means it will come from PHP. So I will just put %s. I will not put any value right now here. I will just put %s and then I will say where user ID equal to %s. So both the places we put the %s and %s will come from here. I will have to put the %s here. So this user ID, what will be the value of user ID here? Whether it will be session or something different.
Probably a session.
Session does not exist in the cron. Cron does not know anything about the session.
Record
session,
set.
pardon?
In the record set.
Yeah, in the record set. So we have to take this one. This is the record set of the user ID which we are updating it. So instead of session, we will put this. Because session does not exist in the cron. Cron don't know about session, cron don't know about cookie, cron don't know about post variable, cron don't know about the get variables, cron only know about the record set which we create, or it will know the variables which we hard codedly created like this. Like this we created this hard code variable. So cron only knows that thing. And here email flag date will be the time, because we are updating the current time with this email flag date, so that we should know after 3 days whether user has clicked the login button or not. If user has not clicked the login button after 3 days, we will send the real email to all his users. This part is clear?
Yeah.
I am updating which table? This table. What are the fields I am updating? I am updating email flag 1 equal to 1, and I am also updating email flag 1 date equal to time, that is this time, and where user ID is equal to this user ID which I am getting from this record set. This is the statement to update anything in the database. Now I will run it. Let's see. I will run it. Okay, I ran it, and now I will see in the database what happens. You will see all have been converted into 1, and I can see email flag date to the current time. All will be getting some current time. Now this user has 3 days to log in, and if we don't log in, then we will send email after 3 days. But if he logins, I will change this email flag to 0, and I will change the login date. Let me see in the login page if I am changing this to 0 or not. As far as I remember, I am changing this to the current time, but I have to set this also to 0, and I will check this now if this one is 0 or not. And I will also change this cron flag also equal to 0, because I don't need any other thing when he log in. When he log in, I don't care about any other thing. So I will make this 0 and this 0. So let me check my login page to see if I have put those fields as a 0. In the intermediate one, I am only setting the login date. I am not doing any change in the email flag 1 and cron flag. So let's add in here. Once I am setting the login date equal to current time, I will set email flag equal to 0, because since he logged in, I don't want 1 flag. I wanted 0 flag. And I will change also the cron flag. I will also change the cron flag equal to 0. Because once he logged in, I want to repeat the circle again. I will wait for 3 months, and then I will send the email flag 1 if we don't log in. And after 3 days, if we don't log in again, I will change the cron flag to 1, and I will really send the email to his family or whatever reminders he has created. Is this part clear which I changed in the login page?
Yeah.
Why I am doing this? Because once he logged in, I want him to restart the circle. I don't want him to continue. I want him to restart the 3 months, and then we will send it again if he does not come to our website. So this is something. And now if I run the cron, what will happen? If I refresh this page, what will happen? Whether you will be able to see these 3 or no?
No.
No. Why no?
Flag equal to 0.
Yes, flag is changed to 1 for each of them. So if I refresh now, you will not see anything, because all the records have got the email which I wanted to send. Is this clear? So cron 1 is done. Except when I go to prod, I will uncomment this mail. So cron part will go correctly for this cron 1. Let's commit it so that we know that cron is 1 is done. So I will commit it. Whenever I do some major functionality, I prefer to commit it. Cron 1 done. I will push it. Now we will write cron 2. Now what are the requirements for cron 2? Let's try to refresh the requirements. So now user is not logged in for 3 months. So I selected all the users who has not logged in for 3 months and I send the email to all of them. And once I send the email to all of them, I change the flag email flag 1 to 111 and I updated date also. Now after, I will wait for 3 days. Though cron 2 will run continuously, but how will I wait for 3 days? I will check whether this date has crossed the 3 days. If these 3 dates have crossed the 3 days, then if these 3 days are crossed 3 days and this flag is 1, then I will send all the emails to his reminders and I will change the flag to 1 for all these 3 things. All these flags will go as 1. So what are the steps for cron 2? I will write down the steps for cron 2. Let's write down in the body. Steps 1. What is the first step? Check if email flag 1 is equal to what? 1 or 0?
1.
1. And email flag 1 date. Email flag 1 date is less than what?
3 days.
3 days from now. Okay. I will get records, for example, record 1, record 2. I may get any record number 3 or record 4. All these users have email flag 1 and all these users have email flag date 1 less than 3. So I will get all these records. Right now we don't have that data, but consider, let's say we have some data. So we get 5 records, for example. And also I will limit it to 5 so that I don't want more than 5 to be processed at one time. Now what will I do? Now once I get each record, I will what is the next step? What I will do? Okay.
Send the email.
Send the reminders to all this. So that means for each user, I will go to the reminders table and I will get the reminders. And after I get the reminders, I will send email to this one, to all the emails. Okay. So what is the step for each record? For each record, go to LR reminder table and go to LR reminder table and send email to all the reminders for this user. Which is this user? This record 1 is one user. Record 2 is another user. Record 3 is another user. And record 4 is another user. Record 5 is another. So for each user, I will go to the reminders table and I will get all the reminders and I will send email to all of them.
So if there's more than 5, does it wait until the next cron, like a day later?
If I do 5, I will not make it a day, though my server is saying day, but I will run every 15 minutes or every 10 minutes.
Okay.
But if you have something more than 1,000 users, then instead of 5, I will make it 50, or I will make 500 at a time, depend on my users. So generally, server can handle 200, 300 easily. Some servers, if you have dedicated server, it can handle more also. 1,000, 10,000 also it can handle. So depend on, you have to really see on the server, try running it and see how much it can handle it. So I will say limit 5. So right now, for each user, I will go to the record reminder and I will send email to reminder to that user. Now, how many queries I am running on this page? If I am using limit 5, one query I am running for this, and then I am running 5 queries for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 queries at one time, right?
Yeah.
But tomorrow, if I have 500 users, then it will be 500 queries at one time. So which makes things little difficult, but for now it's okay because we have 5 users. I will not change it to 500. Later on, I will change this query so that it will change from 5 queries to only 1 query, and then it will be little more efficient. But now I don't want to go more efficient. I want to really make it workable. And later on, I will try to improve the code and I will try to make 1 query if possible. But right now, I don't want to do that. Right now, I want to make it separate. So the first step is I have to take these 2 conditions and I have to create a record set. Whenever you want to select something, you have to create a record set. So let's go and we'll create the record set. In the record set, I will give some name, RS users, for example, and I will choose the connection. And then I'll choose a table, which table I want to use. I want to use the L users table. I will say select. Let's saying select star from LR users. Now I will put condition. What is the first condition I want? I want email flag 1. So I will select the email flag 1. I will say where. So it's saying email flag 1. I will say equal to 1 or 0.
1.
1. And then I will say email flag 1 date. I will put where. Then it will say and email flag date. It should be less than 3 days, right? So I will create a variable called as 3 days. I'm just putting $3 days here. I will be creating this variable in 1 minute. There is also a different way, as I explained you previously. I can put here as a cold name and I will click here plus sign and I will put cold name here, and here will be the default value. I will put this default, pardon?
Is it -1?
Usually I put -1, but here I don't want to put -1. I want to really put something. But for this case, I don't want to use this cold one. I just showed you this is another way I can put. Yeah, last time I put -1, correct. And then I put $_post or get. But right now I don't want to use this one. I will just put variable name here, $3 days, to make it simple. If it is very complex, I will try to create these variables here and do it. So this is another way. If I know the variable, I can put directly variable here. And I'll say OK. Once I say OK, you will see a select statement is created. And then I have to loop through all the users. So let's forget if I have this one, I will delete this part because we are looping and I will get the looping. I will get the looping by the dynamic PHP. So I will delete all. I will select this part and I will say I can create a dynamic table also. Okay, forget this one. I will create a dynamic table. So I will go insert, application object, dynamic data and dynamic table. And I will say all users and I will say OK. Okay, since $3 days it's not able to access it, therefore it's not working fine. So $3 day is not right idea, good idea. Though it will work, practically it will work, but since it is Dreamweaver is not able to understand it, so let's try to put it in the cold name. So I will select this $3 days and I will put cold name here and I will put plus sign cold name. Let's put anything here for now. I will change it 1 or -1, and in the runtime value I will put $3 days or put -1 is also fine. Click OK and I'll click OK. So now I have to define the $3 days. I will go up and I will define the $3 days. How to define $3 days? It's a time minus 3 days. So to calculate 3 days, I will say 60 seconds into 60 minutes, that is 1 hour, into 24, that is 1 day, into 3 days. $3 days will become like this. And what I am taking, cold name, email flag date less than the cold name, and cold name is what? 3 days. Is this part clear or I should explain it again?
It's clear.
Kate?
Clear.
Okay. So I created a variable here and I created a variables here, put the default value something and create the 3 days as a variable, which I created as a PHP variable here like this. So I can comment here 3 days from today. Now I will get all the records which are which have email flag 1 and which are less than 3 days from now, and we have to put limit 5, which I forgot to put here. I will put limit 5. Now I will get 5 records at a time. I will run cron 1 and cron 2 every 15 minutes. So I don't care, 5 records is fine, because right now my site is not with many users. Even if 100 200 comes, I am fine. Later on I will change it to 50, limit 50 if I feel. Otherwise I don't need it. Now first step is done for each record. Okay, now let's go and create a dynamic table. I will say all records, I will say OK. Once I say OK, I get this table here, and now for each record, that is for each of this record, I have to send email to the reminder, to all the reminders for this user, which I will not do today. We will do that tomorrow. So for this page, what I have done this part, and then I loop through all the users using the record set. And for each user, tomorrow I will go to the reminder table and I will get all the reminders and I will send email to all the users for each of the user. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So try to do cron 1 today and try to do cron 2, whatever I have done today. And later on we will, tomorrow we will complete this cron 2. And once we are done with the cron 2, the functionality of the site will be ready. And then we will do some minor changes, like the little bit looks we will change. We will create a fake page. We will create the users page. We will create the front page. So to make it complete website, then we will go and buy the domain. We can buy the domain now also. Let's go and buy free domain. There is one free domain. We'll buy that one. So let's say .tk domain. .tk domain is free. If I want .tk domain, it's free. I will log in my Facebook account. Okay, this is my client area, and then I will register a new domain. Okay, let me register, find this life reminder. Check this is available or not. So life reminder.tk is available. I will get it now. Check out. And I will say it for 12 months. I want it for 12 months. And here I have to use the DNS. This DNS is provided by your hosting server. We have to buy domain from one website. We have to buy hosting from another website. So the hosting person has told me what is my name server are. So that name server I have to put it here. This name server we get from the hosting provider. So you have to get two things. One is the domain and one is the hosting. And whatever hosting has told you, we have to put the name server here, which hosting server has given us. So if I want to write it down, I will write it like this. So one is a place called a domain and another is called hosting. Hosting people will give you name server. And you have to take this name server and put it while buying the domain. So I will say hosting provides name server. Name server get it from hosting. I will use my hosting name server. And what is my name server? I can double check in my other domains. Let me see what is my name servers are there. Okay, let's see. Okay, my name servers are this one. I will put my name servers here, ns1 dot name server and ns2 dot name server. So this is been given by my hosting, and then I'll say, so I will register this maybe in some time because I have to fill the form and all. So tomorrow we will be ready with this domain also. So you can also buy some free domain if you want. And then I will show you once I buy tomorrow, I will show you what is the next step to do. So we have to buy because it takes, I have to fill the whole form, which I will do in the night. After domain, fill the form and all set. And after I have to go to the hosting and I have to do some steps to link both the things. So I have to link this domain to the hosting, and that I will show you how to link the domain with the hosting so that you can bind together and then that domain will go live. So that I will do.
If
Yeah.
we already have a domain and hosting, do you want us to redo one that's free or
No,
use
no.
what we have?
If you have, it's okay. Just I was showing if you want to learn
Have
this
a free
process,
one.
that's the reason I showed you. If you have, it's okay. No need to do any other thing.
Okay.
So let me stop the recording.